Hello dear students of class 9th, welcome to economics class. I hope all of you are fit and healthy. Students, in this video, I shall be continuing with the third chapter of economics, that is poverty as a challenge. Students, in the previous video, I explained you the two typical cases of poverty. First was the urban case and second was the rural case. That means poverty is not seen in only rural areas or not only in urban areas, rather poverty is there in the whole country, the rural areas also as well as the urban areas also. In the urban area, I explained you that situation with the help of a hypothetical story, that was the story of Ramsaran, and in the rural case, I explained you that case with the help of the story of Lakha Singh. So, I hope that is clear to everybody. I also explained you certain indicators of poverty. So, now students, I will be moving to the next topic, that is poverty as seen by social scientists. So, students, before I start discussing this topic, that how is poverty seen by social scientists, first let me tell you that who are these social scientists. See, in the introduction video also I explained you about social scientists. So, I am just repeating that social scientist, see scientist you already know, and social means, a social scientist means a person who studies social issues. Okay, a person who studies social issues, for example, regarding poverty, regarding unemployment, regarding crime, illiteracy. So, these are the social issues. So, a person who studies about these issues, that person is referred to as a social scientist. So, I hope the term social scientist is clear to everybody. Now, students, as the topic says, poverty as seen by social scientists. So, in this topic, I will explain you that what is the point of view of social scientists in relation to poverty. What do they think of poverty? What is their point of view? How they express it? Okay. So, students, the social scientists, they look through poverty through various indicators. There are various indicators, or there are several factors with the help of which the social scientists look through poverty. Now, we will study the indicators that are seen by social scientists with regard to poverty. So, the first indicator is level of income and consumption. Now, see this level of income and consumption, this is the core criteria of poverty or the core indicator of poverty. How? Level of income. Definitely, income is the first and foremost thing that is seen, that is considered as one of the most important indicators. This point is considered as one of the most important indicators of poverty. If the person is not having money, if a person is not having regular or stable income, definitely that person will be poor. That person will be trapped in that vicious circle, right? So, this is definitely an indicator of poverty. That means level of income, how much the person is able to earn, whether a person is able to earn sufficient or not. A person is able to feed his or her family or not. Next is consumption. I hope you remember the two stories. In those stories, after I discussed the stories, after I explained the stories, I discussed some important issues regarding those stories, the analysis. In that, one point was there, number of children or size of the family. See, if the size of the family is big, that means there will be more mouths to feed, definitely the consumption level will be more. But if the family size or the size of the family is small, then there will be less mouths to feed, as a result of which consumption level will be less. If consumption will be less, then definitely the person will be able to manage with less income also. But if consumption level is more, but a person is earning less income, then that will be very difficult case. So, this is also one important indicator of poverty. So, I hope the first point is clear to everybody, that is level of income and consumption. Now let us see the second point. See, there are several social indicators like illiteracy level. Illiteracy. If a person is illiterate, there are chances that his next generation will also be illiterate. This is a general thing that I am saying. I am not trying to create any stereotype. Again, I am telling you. So this is generally seen, as seen in the case of Lakha Singh, as seen in the case of Ram Saran. Ram Saran was not educated, Lakha Singh was not educated, and their children were also not educated. So what will happen? If the person is not educated, the person will not get proper jobs. If the person will not get proper job, income level will decrease. It will be very less, as a result of which it will lead to poverty. So this is one important factor. This is one social indicator. That means illiteracy level. Now the next one is lack of general resistance due to malnutrition. Yeah, malnutrition, another point. See, all the points are related to each other. If the income level is less and there are more mouths to feed, and that means the consumption level is high, definitely the person will not be able to provide a balanced diet or a healthy food to the family, as a result of which the children, the members of the family, they will face malnutrition. Definitely their health will be affected, their health will deteriorate, they will not be healthy, they will not be fit. So this is also one important indicator. That is, that means they are not able to resist due to malnutrition. This means they are going towards poverty in a way. So this is also one indicator. The next one is lack of access to health care. See, malnutrition, as I told you, if they will be malnourished, if they will be malnourished, then what will happen? Their health will deteriorate, and since they are poor, they will not be able to get access to proper health care. They will not see a good doctor, they will not get proper medication. So this is also one cause of poverty, right? If they will not see a doctor, then their health will keep on deteriorating, which will ultimately lead to poverty. This is also one indicator, one important indicator of poverty. Then the next is lack of proper job opportunities. Definitely, if the person will not be literate, if the person will not be educated, how can a person get proper or good job opportunities? If a person needs to get job opportunities, he or she needs to be educated. But if a person is not educated, then how will that person get job opportunities? Definitely not. So this is also one indicator. Then the next indicator is lack of access to safe drinking water and sanitization. Definitely, if the person is not educated, if the person is not able to live at good places, then what will happen? There will be lack of sanitization. The person will be forced to live in some slum area, dirty place. Definitely there will not be any kind of hygiene, no sanitization will be there, safe drinking water will not be there. They will be forced to drink that dirty water. RO means everybody in the country cannot afford RO or any other purified source of water, since they are not so rich. So if they will not be able to get purified water, that will also cause damage to their health. So this is important indicator of poverty. So these points are important indicators. But apart from them, there are two more important indicators. Now what are they? See, I'll explain you. They are very important. See students, The next point is analysis of poverty based on social exclusion and vulnerability is now becoming very popular. Now, I have used two terms. First term is social exclusion and the second one is vulnerability. Now, these are very important points with regard to the indicators of poverty. Now, what are they? Social exclusion and vulnerability. First, I will talk about social exclusion. Social exclusion means socially excluded group, means not included in the society. Social means related to the society and excluded means not included, not the part of it. They are removed from the society. So, this is one reason. And the second one is vulnerability. Vulnerability means the groups which are more vulnerable or the groups that are more prone to face certain problem, and here it is basically poverty. So, there are certain groups that are prone to or they are more vulnerable to face poverty. So, this is called vulnerability. So, now I will explain you about these 2 points in detail because these 2 points are really very important with regard to the indicators of poverty. So, students, first let me deal with social exclusion in detail. See, the poor people, they have to live in poor surroundings with poor people and they are excluded from enjoying social equality. What is the meaning of this? See, this means that the poor people, they are excluded from the mainstream society. They are not allowed to enter the society of the rich, the society of the prosperous. I will explain you this with the help of an example. See, in several posh areas, there are several posh areas in every city. In every city there are posh areas, posh localities. In those areas, there are beautiful apartments, beautiful buildings, flats. They are very attractive and beautiful. They really look very luxurious and beautiful. We are very much attracted towards that area. Now, just imagine one thing, a poor family wants to live there, building their own kacha house. Will the people of that society, of that posh locality, allow that poor family to reside there, near that apartment, near that building, near that locality? No, they will not allow that poor family to live there. They will not try to adjust with them. They will try to remove them out. They will try to throw them out. Why? Because they cannot afford that much. Because they are poor. Because they live in a kacha house. So, this is called social exclusion. They are not included. They are excluded. They are thrown out of the mainstream society. As a result of which they remain poor. If they were allowed to reside at that place, then what would have happened? What would have been the result of that? Maybe their condition would have improved by seeing the rich people, by seeing the prosperous, by seeing the educated people. They must have gained sense. They would have also started working on sanitization, on proper health facilities, on education of their children. This may be possible. This might be possible. But now they are totally excluded. They are not allowed to even enter that area. That means their condition is same. Everybody wants the poor to live with poor only. We want that if a person is very poor, then that person or that person should live with that community only, the community of poor people. So, this is called social exclusion. The poor who are not able to afford the lifestyle, they are excluded from the society. And you know, this is the cause as well as consequence of poverty. Now, this is a very important statement. This is the cause as well as consequence of poverty. See, it is the cause as well as consequence of poverty means that it here means social exclusion. Social exclusion is the cause as well as consequence of poverty. Now, how? See, the person See how? Social exclusion is happening. Why? Because that person is poor. Since that person is poor, social exclusion is happening. Means this is the cause. And since that person is poor, he will be poor only. Since he is socially excluded, he will remain poor only. This is the consequence. Since he is poor, he is socially excluded, and since he is socially excluded, he will be poor only. This is the consequence. That means the result of social exclusion. If a person is poor, if the condition is not improving, that means the condition will not improve in future also. This the society has decided for the poor. So I hope you understood about social exclusion. And let me tell you that caste system is a very good example, an ideal example of social exclusion. See, the people of lower strata, the people of lower caste, they are still, yeah, even today, sometimes they are considered as untouchables by few people. Even the people who are rich, the people who are educated, they also neglect them. They try to exploit them. They try to exclude them from their society. They do not want to include them. Even though they are very important for us, they help us in whatever way they can. They are helpers, but still we do not include them in our society. So this is one example. And since they are excluded from the society, since they are poor, they are excluded, as a result of which they will always be excluded. They will always remain poor. So students, if they are excluded, then there is a, cut this line. Now students, if they are excluded, then there is a very less probability of their upliftment from poverty. If they are included, there is a chance, there is a probability that they might I'm saying it again. The students, if they are excluded, then the probability of their upliftment is very less. But if they are included in the society, then the probability of their upliftment is more. So this is the meaning of social exclusion, which is a very important point. Question may come in your examination that write a short note on social exclusion and vulnerability as indicators of poverty. So you have sufficient points to write. You may answer, you may expand your answer, you may write your own points, right? So this is very important point with regard to the indicators of poverty. Now students, next we have vulnerability. Now what do you understand by the term vulnerable? See students, when a person or when a section is more prone to a specific problem, that is known as vulnerable. That means possibility of being attacked or harmed. That is called as vulnerable or vulnerability. See, when the probability of certain community or individual is more towards remaining poor, that is called as vulnerability, or with regard to the indicator of poverty. For example, let me give you the example of this coronavirus, COVID-19. The second phase of coronavirus. During the second phase, people faced breathing problem, lack of oxygen. This was mainly faced by people. And in that second phase, the people who had asthma, the people who had breathing problem, they were more prone to it. They were more at the risk of being attacked or being harmed. So this is the meaning of probability. Probability means when a certain group of individuals are more prone towards something, towards damage, that refers to vulnerability. So I hope that vulnerability is clear to everybody. So students, it creates probability of being more adversely affected, right? So this vulnerability, it creates the probability, it creates the possibility or chance of that particular group of individuals to be more adversely affected. So I hope socially excluded as well as vulnerability is clear to everybody. Now students, in the next video, I will be explaining you about poverty line. Till then, thank you so much. Keep studying well for your examination. not only for your examination but for your personal knowledge too, and do take care of yourselves. Thank you.